Welcome to We Live on a Planet. It's Monday, March 2nd, 2020. This is episode 367. Let's see if we can get this old girl started. Come on. Come on. Ooh, almost pulled my shoulder. Come on, one more. There we go. Oh boy, pulled a hammy. Pulled a hammy. We got it started though. It's Monday, like I said, in March. New month. The sound of bagpipes. 32 degrees currently here in upstate New York. Feels like 25. Highs are going to be about 32. Winds are out of the southeast, 10 miles per hour, right on the lake shores of Lake Ontario, the beautiful city of Oswego, New York. Thank you for playing those bagpipes, but those were Scottish bagpipes. How do I know? Just the sound. They sound a little bit different. And the sound of bagpipes that you just heard, they're the Great Highland bagpipes, or small border is what they're also called. And that's the traditional bagpipe that you think of when you see the bagpipes, the kind that they blow into. That's a Scottish bagpipe. The Irish bagpipe is a uilleann, or an elbow bagpipe, and you do not blow into that. You use your elbow. Holy cow, it's a minute 15 into the show, and we already learned something. The more you know. Hey, we're going to learn a lot of stuff, so stick around. We come back. I got a lot of things I'd like to talk to you about today. Got a lot of stuff going on in this month of March. It's my birthday month. I'm knocking on 50. I will be 50, and I can't believe it. When I was a kid, I thought 50 was like you're knocking on heaven's door. Nope, not now. I think 50 is the new 30, maybe. I'm just trying to convince myself. All right, stick around. We'll be right back. Good morning, my neighbors. Maybe it's not morning for you, but it's morning for me, for this guy. Maybe you enjoy We Live on a Planet first thing in the morning. I've had some of my listeners say that they enjoy me when they first get up. That's kind of cool. Good way to start the show. All right, here's our quote. Helping? No, can we start?
Do it!
What?
Just do it!
Okay.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
All right, I'm not going to. Let me just thank you, Shy. We have not heard from you in a while. All right, helping one person might not change the world, but it could change the world for one person. You know, it doesn't take much to help people. It takes so much energy to be negative. You don't realize. And it felt so good this weekend. I felt like I helped my fellow man, my community here. My bag giveaway went over really well. It was nice. If you follow the show, you know that I bought a bunch of We Live on a Planet bags, like 350, and I handed them all out to my community. And if you're one of the lucky ones that asked for one, I shipped one out to you. It was costly to ship those bags out, that's for sure, but worth it. And I'm happy that they're out there, and the community just really, really, really enjoyed it, and I got so much thanks from it. And I wasn't doing it for thanks. I was just doing, I just wanted to, I don't know, it was double-edged sword, you know. It was obviously I want to get my name out there and my podcast and my website, but it just felt like the right thing to do, and it felt good to do it, and people were really, really groovy about it. I had one of the guys, and they went quick. My wife helped me, so it was a big help. She was handing out magnets because I had refrigerator magnets made up as well. And so I was handing out a bag, and at first people they think you're going to sell something. Nobody wants to get sold anything on a Sunday morning anytime. So my approach was just like, I'm not selling, I'm giving. And once I told that to people, I only had 2 people that said no, that they didn't want them and just were standoffish. But I had one of the gentlemen, he got a bag, went in, shopped, went to his car, and then came walking back towards us, and I thought he was probably going to ask maybe for another bag. And he goes, now, who are you representing? Who are you here for? And I said, nobody, I'm representing myself. I just got these for myself. And he goes, oh, really? Oh, well, here, take this. And he goes to hand me $5. And I said, oh, no, sir, thank you. I can't take that. I can't. He's like, no, I really want you to take it. And then he put it more towards me. And you know when you can tell you're in that position where you don't want to offend them, because had I pushed back again and said I don't want to, it would have offended them. So I kindly took the 5, and it was such a nice gesture. And I took that $5 and put it in my pocket, and that was super nice of him to do. And I'm heading to North Carolina this Friday. If you follow the show, you know that as well. I'm going to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, to shoot a testimonial / commercial for a brand called Carpe, CARPE. If you have hyperhidrosis, which is excessive sweating, check out Carpe. This stuff works. It really does. And I'm looking forward to going and meeting the Carpe crew. And it's going to be a long day, like I said to you before, if you know. Like I keep saying, if you follow the show, please, maybe this is your first time ever. You can go back, because this is 367 episodes. I can't believe I'm knocking on 400. Holy cow. That's crazy. But it's going to be fun. Long day, but I'm really looking forward to it. I hope I don't choke in front of the camera. You know, it's sometimes this big red scary button that I'm pushing to talk to you guys, that's hard enough. And I'm all by myself here. You know, it's just me in the studios. But now with the lights on and the camera rolling and people right there, I hope I don't choke. Speaking of I want to go back to my bag giveaway. My friend Lisa from high school, actually from elementary school, but we graduated. That's how long I've known her. We graduated together. She has a podcast. It used to be called Living with Lisa, Keeping It Real, but now she changed the name. It's One Sister's Journey, Keeping It Real. And she's an author as well. She wrote a book. And it just was so nice of her to show up to support me on a Sunday morning. She showed up before she went to church and had her camera rolling and did a little Facebook Live and got the word out there. And so that was cool. So thank you, my friend Lisa. I appreciate that. All right. When we come back, we're going to dive into some more stuff and things, I'm sure. Stick around. I got to fuel up on some more coffee. Get yourself something to drink too if you'd like. And we'll be right back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for coming on back. Before we head on over to the History Channel's website and the facts site and put some more wrinkles on our brain, I wanted to share another thing. I ended up, I bought a fountain pen. Yeah, I bought a fountain pen.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Yeah, well, whatever. I feel fancy. I just thought, I don't know, I just love the feel of a fountain pen. It's been so long since I've written with one. When I was a little boy, I remember, I have a good memory from my biological father giving me an old school fountain pen, the kind that had a little lever on it, and you dipped it in the ink and you had to pull this lever and it sucked the ink up into it. And I have no idea where that went. Obviously, it was so... Those are the things that keep me up at night sometimes, those stupid things where I'll lay in bed and I'll be like, I wonder where that pen is that I had back 35, 40 years ago. Stupid stuff. But I decided to buy a fountain pen. And fountain pens, they can range anywhere from $100 to $1,000 or more for a fountain pen. But I did not spend that much on a fountain pen. I went to Amazon. I'm addicted to Amazon. And I found one. It's called an Amazon Basics fountain pen. Yeah, that's the name of it. And to me, I still think it was expensive for a pen, because you can get a pen for 99 cents. You can get a pen for free if you go to a bank. They don't care. Take as many as you want. This was, you ready for it? I think it's expensive. But you might go, Patrick, that's not a lot of money for a fountain pen. But to me, for a pen, $9.99, not $900 or whatever, $9.99. I thought that was a lot of money for a fountain. I can tell I'm almost 50 because I'm like, that seems like a lot of money, but I'm looking forward to it. It comes with 3 cartridges. They're refillable cartridge or disposable cartridges. So there's no more of that, what I remember of dipping it into the ink and sucking it into, with a little lever. They do have pens like that still. Like I said, they've got them with gold nibs on them that are just so expensive, really, really expensive. So who knows, maybe one day. I didn't realize I had a fountain pen fetish until till just now, and I really realize I like them because I'm looking at all these fountain pens and fantasizing about them because I just like the looks. They look pretty decent. All right, let's head on over to the facts. Nope, not the facts site. Let's go to the History Channel's website first and see what happened on this day of history. I love learning about history. I think that we can learn a lot from history.
Do you like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam. I do not like green eggs and...
Oh, why'd we just hear that? It kind of got quiet in here. Dr. Seuss was born. Theodore Griesel, better known as Dr. Seuss. Seuss? Dr. Seuss? Holy cow.
You can do it!
I know I can. I'm going to push through. Dr. Seuss was born on this day, 1904, March 2nd, 1904. I keep feeling like I'm hearing a little bit of feedback or little crickets in the studio, and it's because I'm using my microphone again, and it's the cord. I bought a new cord, so I apologize. If you are hearing something, please let me know. Reach out to, well, you know what? I'll listen to the, I don't usually listen to my shows. My wife will listen. I'll have her. Last time I asked her if she heard anything, she said she didn't hear anything. So maybe this will be my excuse to use that Amazon gift card that I won from Sticker Mule. Yep, there we go. I heard it. Sorry about that. Get the microphone from Amazon that I want to get, that Shure MV51. That's a $199. Now that to me is a lot of money for a microphone, but if it will help the show, the sound, I can use my phone. The phone sounds fine, but I like using my microphone because I got my headphones on that one of my daughters got me, and I can hear it better and everything. I can hear my voice better. All right, enough rambling. 1836 on today's date, Texas declares independence. I have one of my nieces that lives in Texas, and I miss her so much. Alex, I miss you. And she's doing so well. I'm proud of my nieces and my nephew. They're growing up to be such good kids. That's the good part about growing older. You're getting to see the kids that you remember climbing trees and spitting, having kids and doing great things. It's pretty groovy. Here's an interesting one. 1972, Pioneer 10 launched to Jupiter. And I'm going to open that one because used to be when I would go over to the History Channel, I would open up and elaborate on a lot of these days. But now I just kind of scroll through and give the potpourri. But this one I thought was kind of interesting. I'm interested in space anyways, and the exploration of space and what is out there. So Pioneer 10 is the world's first outer planetary probe. It is launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida, on a mission to Jupiter, the solar system's largest planet. In December 1973, after successfully negotiating the asteroid belt and a distance of 620 million miles, Pioneer 10 reached Jupiter and sent back to Earth the first close-up images of the spectacular gas giant. In June 1983, the NASA spacecraft left the solar system and the next day radioed back the first scientific data on interstellar space. NASA officially ended the Pioneer 10 project on March 31st, 1997, with the spacecraft having traveled a distance of some 6 billion miles. Holy, I wouldn't want the fuel bill on that. Headed in the direction of the Taurus constellation, Pioneer 10 will pass within 3 light years of another star, Ross 246, in the year, are you ready for this? 34,600 AD. Bolted to the probe's exterior wall is a gold anodized plaque, 9 by 6 inches in area, that displays a drawing of a human man and a woman, a star-shaped mark with the location of the sun, and another map showing the flight path of Pioneer 10. The plaque intended for intelligent life forms elsewhere in this galaxy. was designed by astronomer Carl Sagan. Billions and billions of stars. That's my Carl Sagan. Okay, here we go. Slavery, 1807. Congress abolishes the slave trade, 1807. Thank goodness. It was a while before we really abolished it, but we're still working on everything, on equalities of everything. World War II, 1943, the Battle of the Bismarck Sea. 1917, World War I, Puerto Ricans become U.S. citizens after recruited for war effort. 1967, Bobby Kennedy proposes plan to end war. Yeah, and the Vietnam War. Ooh, here's one. 1962 in sports, Wilt Chamberlain scores 100 points. Holy cow, 100 points in one game. Ew, here's a creepy one. 1978, grave robbers steal Charlie Chaplin's body. Oh, man. And what else do we have? Ooh, here's one. 1966. Ford celebrates 1 millionth Mustang. They launched it on March 1st, 1967. Oh my gosh, Patrick. It doesn't even say 67. Let me start that again. On March 1st, 1966, in Dearborn, Michigan, Ford Company celebrates the production of its 1 millionth Mustang. It was a white convertible. Speaking of white convertible, my uncle, Kevin, had a 64.5 because they debuted in April 17th, 1964 at the World's Fair. But you could get, the year they came out was a 64.5. And he had one, and that thing was sweet. And it was like that bone white. And, man, I wish you still had that car, Uncle Kevin, and I bet you do too. And then what do we have? 1776, the Siege of Boston. Yeah, okay, that was kind of cool. We learned a little bit on history. We come back, we will head on over to the facts site and also try to remind me, I keep forgetting this, word of the day. For my listeners that are listening in other countries, we have over 125 countries that listen to We Live on a Planet, and a lot of those countries that listen, English is not their first speaking language. And so they're bilingual, and I like to share word of the day, and it helps me learn. It's always good to strengthen your vocabulary anyways. So stick around. We'll head on over to all kinds of more things and, yeah, all that stuff when we come back. I'll be right back. Hope you come back too. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Yeah, free. There's also creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Listen to this, too. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Check out Anchor.fm today. You can find me at Anchor.fm/WLOAP. Hope to hear from you.
I want to know. I want to know.
All right. Do you want to know stuff? Maybe that's why you're here. All right. Here we go. There are a lot of interesting facts about March, and I want to share just a little potpourri about them. The facts site has some. And March is known for two major holidays. One is to find candy, Easter, and the other is to drink lots of beer. That's for sure St. Patrick's Day. I never needed an excuse to drink lots of beer. I was up to, when I quit drinking, right before I went into rehab, about a 30 pack of beer a day. It's like, yeah, and I was cracking them in the morning. I was waking up and to get rid of the shakes and stuff like that. And I'm so thankful I went to rehab. I used to be really ashamed and wouldn't talk about it. Now I'm just like, yep, went to rehab. It was awesome. I'm finally feeling the fruits of sobriety. I'm finally feeling it. You know, I had a lot of people tell me that after a year of sobriety, your life's going to be so much better. And I was so pissed off because after a year, my life wasn't better and everything still felt, if anything, it was worse. I mean, now I'm like, now I got to have feelings. You're telling me I've got to feel things. I'm not used to feeling things. I'm used to anytime I start feeling stuff, getting drunk. So if you're struggling and you've got 6 months or 6 days or 6 minutes and you don't feel like it's going to get better, it will get better, you know. And I'm fortunate that I can be around alcohol too. I've said that numerous times on the show that I have no problems with people drinking. Hey, I loved it. I was great at it. I got to the point where it wasn't for me anymore, though. It just wasn't. So I am not going to be celebrating St. Patrick's Day in the traditional way of people, but I will be celebrating it nonetheless because of March 16th is my birthday, and we usually make like corned beef dinner and stuff like that. So that's how we'll celebrate it. All right, so here's a couple facts about the month of March. In old Roman calendars, 1 year used to be 10 months long, starting in March and ending in December. Did not know that. The Ides of March was a day in the Roman calendar equivalent to the 15th of March. It was considered a deadline for settling debts. It was also the day Julius Caesar was assassinated. If you were born in March, your birth flower is a daffodil. Daffodils, they bring back a lot of good memories to me. I grew up way out in the middle of nowhere, a little town of New Haven. And New Haven, New York was a big town to me because I lived even on the outskirts of the town of New Haven. And it was just in the middle of nowhere. It was awesome. I just a country boy. I just loved growing up out there. Great memories. And one of my fond memories of daffodils is a neighbor that lived down the street from me, Marcia. Her and I would just ride bikes together. We rode the bus together. She was like my best friend growing up, and her mom and my mom were best friends and bowled together, and her parents and my parents just got along, and they lived right down the street, and her parents were like second parents to me. But we would pick daffodils and try to sell them at the roadside. And if you remember what I just said, I lived way out in the middle of nowhere. So trying to sell daffodils out where I grew up was quite a feat. Most of the ones we sold were just to neighbors. They would see us out there and stop and just to entertain us and buy our daffodils that are growing everywhere wild, so you can get them everywhere. But we thought, what a great idea. We're going to make money and sell daffodils. And out where I lived, you'd be lucky if a car went by every half hour. So yeah, good memories of that. March babies are spoiled with 2 birthstones, aquamarine, which I knew that was my birthstone, and the other is bloodstone, which symbolizes courage. I did not know that bloodstone. There are 2 zodiac signs in March, Pisces, yep, that's me, which is until March 20th, and Aries, which is from March 21st. The first month of spring is March, which starts between the 19th and the 21st. March is the time of year when animals start waking up from hibernation. I did not know that. The word March comes from Mars, the Roman god of war. It was named as such in both the Julian and the Gregorian calendars. The most popular social media outlet, Twitter, was launched on March 21st, 2006. I'm on Twitter. You can find me. It's WLOAP DOTCOM. I couldn't get WLOAP. I wanted that. Somebody has that. And I couldn't get We Live on a Planet. Somebody's got that. So I just did the WLOAP DOTCOM. What else do we have? Statistically, March is the most unproductive month of the year in the U.S. This is the result of March Madness, which is the season of NBA. Some companies lose up to $1.9 billion in wages paid to workers who were not productive and instead spent company time on betting on NBA games. Back in the older days, March was when military campaigns would resume that had previously been put on hold for winter. I did a lot of volunteering at Fort Ontario, which is a rock throw from my house. Fort Ontario was built by the British in 1755, and it was active for all the way until 1946. And a lot of the campaigns, or any of the history that I would talk about at Fort Ontario to people, happened around March or later, because you're not having your troops move and that type of stuff. And it's a pretty interesting fort. I encourage you to Google Fort Ontario, or if you're ever in Oswego, go to Fort Ontario. If you're ever in Oswego and you want to go to Fort Ontario, look me up. I'll bring you there, and I'll give you the VIP tour, because I just love that place, and it's history that people don't even realize how important that fort is in America. What else do we have? President John F. Kennedy founded the Peace Corps on March 1st, 1961. It was a successful volunteer organization which has sent at least 235,000 Americans abroad to developing countries to help with health care, education, and other human needs. So yeah, that was the fact site. And then since we're here, I want to head on over to the word of the day. And I'm opening up the app right now, and as I am, it's an advertisement, of course. So I got a lot of stuff up and coming in March. I've got a podcast by the name of Eddie Green's 101. Him and I are going to be recording a podcast. When is it? March 8th. I'm going to be a guest on his podcast. I don't know when it will be out. And then my friends, Medicine Remixed, going to do something with them too. That's a great podcast. Check out Medicine Remixed. A couple doctors out in New York City. And I was a guest on their show before, and we're going to do something again. Also, check out TWK, Trucking with Kingfish. You type in TWK. I was a guest on his show, and we talked about the coronavirus, but I think I'm going to have him as a guest sometime. That would be nice. And then Alex Carl, I want to have him back on the show again. Episode 315, I interviewed Alex Carl about his movie that he wrote, Camp Coldbrook. And now that I've seen it, I want to talk to him about it. And yeah, so we got a lot of stuff coming up in March. All right. So that was me trying to waste time, a filler, while the advertisement stopped. So here we are. Here's the word of the day for us.
Elide.
Elide. E-L-I-D-E. If you elide something, you leave it out or ignore it. If you elide a word, you do not pronounce it or write it fully. Here's an example. If your parents are especially strict, you might not tell them about the A you got on your English essay and elide the fact that you failed your math quiz. Elide. It's interesting. All right. So we learned something. The more you know, right? Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, Patrick. I just wanted to let you know that you have the best damn podcast ever. Like, ever. Have a great day.
What is it, 1983 or something? What is it? We must communicate. Call me. That would be nice if you called me, just like that mystery caller just did. Thank you, mystery caller. That was groovy. That mystery caller called me by using my phone number. So if you're not using the Anchor app, but you still want to be a part of the show, you can do just like that. Got a pen? 315-532-7360. Or better yet, head on over to my website, WLOAP.com. All my information is right there. How to contact me, how to email me. There's a little phone button. You just push that and you don't even have to dial. You didn't even have to write down those numbers I just told you. Push that little button, it'll go right there too. There's also on my website a spot for listener support. I never push that or talk about it here on my podcast that much, but it's something that is always there if you'd like to support the show for as little as 99 cents a month. You can cancel anytime. That's $12 a year. You can be a part of We Live on a Planet. And if you were supporting the show, I'd give you a shout out and give you some love and let people know, unless you wanted to remain anonymous as well. So yeah, I think that about wraps up the show. It was good. I appreciate you coming on over. I really do. Sticking through with these 367 episodes. If you've been with me since the beginning, thank you. If you want to hear some old episodes, go dust off the archives. They're all there. You can find us anywhere podcasts are found. Put the headphones on and sit back and just binge. You'll find all kinds of nuggets out there. Episode 315, like I said, that was a good one. Episode 330 is a good one too. I introduced Joseph Cohen. He is the creator of the Universe app. That's how I make my website. So yeah. Well, thank you. Remember, helping one person might not change the world, but it could change the world for one person. So try to help someone today, even if it's just holding the door for them. All right, my friends, I'll talk to you again real soon. And do your best to stay curious and not judgmental today, the best you can. Peace, my friends.